Data Australasia, guided by lived experience, led by you.
And thanks, Kylie, for that wonderful Data Australasia announcement. It's Elise Lonsdale again. Hi again, everyone. All right, I'm going to get a bit controversial in this video. O&M. People think of it as a therapy, and I'm getting a little bit tired of the overuse of the word therapy. To me and other people whom I've spoken to in the blindness community, we're starting to think about it as training. Now, orientation and mobility, for those who haven't been fully acquainted, is the practice of orientating a blind person, a person with low vision, to a surrounding an environment and doing so safely. And that surrounding or environment might be the local shops, could be your church, could be your school, could be your place of employment. It could just be the fact that you want to know how safely to travel to see a family member. And when traveling, using safe public transport, learning safe routes. And we do that with either a guide dog or a white cane. And there'll be more talks about those as we move through these videos. And it is important because, sighted people take travel for granted. They can just hop in their car and go whenever they want. We have to get taxis and worry about what time the train leaves and the bus leaves and that sort of stuff, or other forms of transport, support workers on the NDIS, etc. So when a person travels, when a person does O&M, it comes under the therapy code on the NDIS, the $193.95 per hour. Now, that's because I guess you could say the O&Ms have finally been recognised after many, many years of them not being recognised, and more power to them. We in the access technology field don't have any recognition, and that's a topic for another video. But just recently, in 2025, the O&Ms were at least formally recognised. And for those who have done their COMS, which is Certified Mobility, COM, Certified Orientation and Mobility Instructor, it gives them even more greater leverage and greater flexibility in their line of work. But some of us in the blind community are starting to think of this practice as not therapy. Therapy brings up connotations of men in white coats and hospitals and clinical sort of stuff. You're going to have therapy, It's actually a practice that trains you safely how to get from point A to point B to point C. How to find the train. Are there any steps? Are there any platforms you've got to worry about? Using the surface ground indicators, the dots and the lines that you see around railway stations, tram stops, bus stops, etc. The tactile indicators on the ground. So really, are we actually teaching people things? I think we are, much the same as in the access technology realm. We're teaching people how to access their social media, their email, their Word documents, their Excel spreadsheets, their Windows or their Apple devices. I train, as I've said before, I'm a trainer. I'm not a what do you call it, a mentor. I can do mentoring and have done quite a bit of that, but really I'm a qualified trainer. So the same thing happens with O&M. You have to be able to teach, you have to be able to work out a plan where you're going, you have to deliver that service, and then, have a debriefing afterwards. So in my mind, it's actually training. And this is why I think the NDIS needs to give more kudos to training, to enabling people. We've now seen a generation of people come out of the NDIS who often use the NDIS as a taxi service. I can't go anywhere because I can't get a support worker. Well, bully to that, because what happens if you were able to travel independently? Would that not open up for you a greater lifestyle, a better quality of life? I think it would. Now, admittedly, there are people who can't travel independently with mobility, other forms of severe mobility issues, or even lack of confidence, especially for those people who have lost their eyesight. Now, I've seen the NDIS deny O&M to a participant this year. And that's a disgraceful effort. Sorry, NDIS, that's a big, huge untick for you, because you need to know that, people need to be able to travel safely. And this particular person actually was once fully sighted. So trying to gain back some independence because they realise that they've got to grab the bull by the horns and get out there and get into the community. And whilst they currently have a number of people who can drive them, support workers and friends, it would be nice for them to be able to travel independently if they feel safe enough to do so. So this is my little talk on O&M and how it can relate to training. Training relates to access technology, and I think we need to start thinking about a training category or a training code for the NDIS for us to practice from. Thanks for watching. I'm Elise Lonsdale, and I look forward to seeing you in the next video.
For fast, efficient access technology training and support, call Elise Lonsdale from Australia 0448 966 533. That's 0448 966 533. Or from New Zealand on 027 315 2858. That's 027 315 2858. Data Australasia. Guided by lived experience, led by you.